What if the most powerful civilization in human history never truly collapsed? What if it did not disappear, did not fade into ruins, did not become a memory trapped inside museums? What if it simply waited? History teaches us a familiar pattern. Empires rise, empires expand, empires fall. Rome collapsed under its own weight. The Maya vanished into silence. Ancient Egypt became stone and sand. But one civilization chose a different path. It adapted instead of breaking. It recorded instead of forgetting. It endured instead of surrendering. For more than 5,000 years, it observed the world change around it. Wars came and went. Borders were redrawn. Ideologies rose and collapsed. And through it all, China remained. This is not a story of fear. This is not propaganda. This is history. Welcome to Truth Atlas. This is China. China is located in East Asia, but geography alone does not explain its destiny. It is the third largest country on Earth by land area. It borders 14 nations, more than any other country in the world. Mountains shield it from the west. Deserts isolate it from the north. Oceans open it to trade in the east. But China's true foundation lies in its rivers. The Yellow River and the Yangtze River are not just waterways. They are the cradle of Chinese civilization. These rivers provided fertile land. They allowed agriculture to flourish. They connected communities and enabled trade. Villages became towns. Towns became cities. Cities became states. While many early societies focused only on survival, China focused on organization. It learned how to plan ahead, how to store food, how to govern large populations. From the very beginning, China was built on systems, and systems outlive individuals. Most civilizations rise once, they peak, they fall. China did something unprecedented. Its dynasties fell, but its civilization did not. The Qin dynasty unified China for the first time, creating standardized laws, currency, and writing systems. The Han dynasty built bureaucratic institutions that influenced Asia for centuries. The Tang dynasty ushered in a golden age of culture, diplomacy, and innovation. The Song dynasty advanced science, economics, and urban life. The Ming dynasty expanded trade and constructed monumental architecture. Each dynasty ended, but instead of erasing the past, China preserved it. Mistakes were documented, successes were analyzed, lessons were passed on. China did not restart its story, it continued writing it. China's written language is among the oldest still in continuous use. This matters more than most people realize. A modern Chinese reader can recognize symbols created thousands of years ago. This creates continuity, cultural, historical, and psychological. In China, history is not distant, it is present. While other civilizations lost their languages and identities, China preserved its memory. Knowledge survived invasions. Ideas survived collapse. Identity survived chaos. When memory survives, civilization survives. Modern history often credits Europe with building the modern world. But this story is incomplete. Paper was invented in China. Printing was invented in China. The compass was invented in China. Gunpowder was invented in China. These 4 inventions reshaped human civilization. Without paper, education collapses. Without printing, knowledge remains limited to elites. Without the compass, global exploration stalls. Without gunpowder, modern warfare does not exist. These innovations traveled west. They fueled empires that later dominated the world, but their origin was Chinese. While Europe struggled through instability, China was innovating. History remembers conquerors, but it often forgets creators. The Great Wall of China stretches over 21,000 kilometers. It is the longest man-made structure ever built, but it is often misunderstood. It was not built at once. It was not meant to stop every enemy. It was meant to delay, to slow invasions, to buy time, to prepare defenses. The Great Wall represents a philosophy: preparation over panic, patience over reaction. China learned that time itself can be a weapon. That mindset still shapes Chinese strategy today. Despite its strength, China did fall behind. In the 19th century, foreign powers arrived, colonial influence grew, wars were lost, resources were taken, sovereignty was weakened, national pride was shattered. This era became known as the century of humiliation. China was poor, divided, broken, but China did not forget. Every modern policy, every long-term strategy is shaped by this memory. Pain became motivation. The 20th century brought chaos, civil war, invasion, revolution. China rebuilt itself from ruins. The process was painful, mistakes were made, millions suffered, but the goal remained clear: survival, stability, strength. China focused inward. It learned from failure, and then it changed course. In just a few decades, China transformed itself. Hundreds of millions escaped poverty. Factories replaced farms. Villages became megacities. China became the world's manufacturing center. Look around you. Your phone, your clothes, your electronics. There is a strong chance they were made in China. This was not luck. It was strategy. China builds first. High-speed rail networks, massive highways, entire cities constructed from nothing. While others debate, China builds. Infrastructure creates opportunity. Opportunity creates power. This philosophy defines modern China. China invests heavily in technology, artificial intelligence, renewable energy, space exploration. Technology is not just innovation, it is influence. China understands this, and it plans accordingly. China possesses the world's largest army, advanced missiles, cyber warfare capabilities, yet it rarely seeks open conflict. China prefers influence over invasion, trade over war, patience over provocation, power without noise. Most nations plan in election cycles. China plans in generations. While others argue ideology, China builds roads, ports, and supply chains. Time is its greatest advantage. Power is not only military, it is psychological. China understands this deeply. It studies how nations think, how populations react, how fear spreads. Power for China is perception. If others believe you are strong, you don't need to prove it. Silence becomes strategy. In China, education is not optional, it is a national priority. Millions compete, only the strongest advance. Science, engineering, mathematics. China does not educate for debate, it educates for results. Knowledge is power, and China invests in it relentlessly. Confucius lived over 2,500 years ago, yet his ideas still shape China today. Respect hierarchy, value harmony, prioritize duty. Confucianism teaches order. It discourages chaos. It discourages rebellion. This philosophy creates stability, and stability creates longevity. China is connected to the world through trade. Every port, every shipping lane, every supply chain. If global trade slows, China feels it first. That is why China protects trade routes, not with armies alone, but with influence. The Belt and Road Initiative spans continents, ports in Africa, railways in Asia, roads in Europe. This is not charity, it is strategy. Infrastructure creates dependency, and dependency creates power. China builds the roads. Others travel on them. China does not lecture. It negotiates. It offers loans, not ideology. Construction, not criticism. Many developing nations prefer this. China fills gaps others ignored, and influence grows quietly. Data is the new oil. China understands this. Facial recognition, artificial intelligence, smart cities. Technology becomes governance. Efficiency replaces debate. Control replaces chaos. This is controversial, but it is effective. China looks beyond Earth. Satellites, space stations, moon missions. Space is not exploration alone. It is dominance of communication, navigation, and intelligence. The future is above us. China knows this. China exports more than products. Movies, language, media. Confucius institutes spread culture globally. Soft power reshapes perception, and perception reshapes reality. China is not invincible. Economic pressure, population decline, environmental strain. Every empire faces limits. China knows this. That is why it adapts again. China is not rising, it has already risen. The real question is not whether China will shape the future, but how the rest of the world will respond. This is Truth Atlas. If this story made you think, like the video, subscribe, and ask yourself one final question. Are we watching history repeat itself, or are we witnessing something entirely new?